So the flags are still going up all over the country, actually. Can we just play this in the background with no sound on? As you can see, this is in Birmingham. And, I mean, people are very much enjoying this.
Yep.
But notice how now it's the national flags of the British Isles that are being collated together. The England flag, the Welsh flag, the Scottish flag, and the Irish flag. And the Northern Irish flag down at the bottom there, you can see. People feel very strongly about this. And I'm completely in support of this, obviously, because this is our country. This is our land. That's what these flags mean. These flags mean the native population of these countries get to have the primary claim on the countries. That's what it means. And so if the country is in some way being governed for the interests of foreign groups who can define themselves from countries elsewhere, then their interests have to come a distant second to ours. And if they don't like it, they have somewhere they can go. They can flee from the country after it's been ruined, basically, is what we're saying. We have nowhere else we can go to. And so this is pretty uncontroversial, I would say, unless you're, of course, a left-winger. Many of the councils have taken them down, but certain councils, such as in the northeast here, this is from the Daily Express, the Blackburn and Darwin Council has said that, no, we're going to leave the flags up. We're not going to go and put flags up ourselves because that would cost money, and we're councils, so we don't have any money. But if you put the flags up, we're not going to spend money taking them down, which is great, because why would you? But then if you think about like the north east of Britain, sorry, this was, it's still quite homogenous. It's really just this giant scar across the middle of England. But the southwest and the northeast are still majority English areas by a long way. And so why wouldn't they? What would be the reason to take them down? Well, we get told a lot of the time that flags are really inclusive, right? Now this, I think this was in Brighton. Now the people in
Hove
Brighton,
is in Brighton.
yes, the people in Brighton are
brain damaged.
I think Hove is the lesbian district.
I don't doubt. Well, someone put up an England flag and a Union flag there.
All female voices.
Early 20s, women.
Yep.
Cheering to take it down, and then some guy who hopes he's going to get with one of them later is doing it for them. These are the kind of people who are against the flag, because the question though is, why are they doing this? Right? They're doing this because they know that the England flag in particular is not an inclusive symbol.
Yes.
They are doing this because they're well aware, oh no, this is a statement of the domination of the native people of this country, and I, as an insane traitorous leftist, hate the native people of this country, the people to whom I belong, and I want to see a Palestine flag. So, I mean, if that was a Palestine flag, they would never take it down. It's a Ukraine flag. They would never take it down.
Exactly.
They take it down because it's an English flag, and they cheer because they hate this country. And honestly, it's a big test. Basically, these people need to be imprisoned. Anyway, moving on. That's the problem with the narrative that they have with all of this. Now, as you can see from the people organically doing these things, they know why they're putting these flags up.
Yep.
The people who are dragging them down know why they're dragging them down. The flag is not a unifying symbol across ethnicities. It is an ethnic symbol. And
By definition.
By definition. And that's why they do it. And so you've got people on GB News and elsewhere, it's not just GB News, saying, well, look, these flags matter because they're being used to divide us. It's like, well, sorry, who started that? Who was the one waving their flags with hundreds of thousands of them marching through London, shouting all sorts of slogans? Who were the ones doing it with the pride flags? Who were the ones doing it with the Ukraine flags?
Pakistani flags.
Pakistani flags. Like the Albanian flag on Albanian Independence Day.
Yeah.
Lighting up the Birmingham town's city hall in the Pakistani flag and the Indian flag on their Independence Days from Britain. Sorry, who started this division? But did we come out and say, oh, well, these flags are becoming weapons to divide us? Yeah, they were. And we've taken a lot of bloody fire recently. So you're getting it back.
But leftism is division. This is sinister, because what he wants to say is
natural.
There are going to be different. There are going to be different rules, and you're going to play by my rules, and I'm not going to play by yours.
Yes,
that's what he says.
If division wasn't natural, we wouldn't have an India and a Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Good point.
You know,
and that's a great point.
And they know this perfectly about themselves.
There can be no non-exclusive identity.
Yes.
Every identity is exclusive.
The very nature of an identity is a declaration against something else.
Yeah.
I am not these other things. I am this thing. And so you get this everywhere. I mean, like Zach Polanski, the world's most...
I don't know. It's just hilarious.
Just the world's most photogenic man, suggests that the flags are being used to intimidate. I'm not going to play the LBC clip because they'll copyright claim us. But he says that the flags are being used to intimidate. And, well, I mean, if you feel intimidated by the English...
Why isn't the Pakistan flag intimidating?
Well, that's the point. No. That's exactly the point. If putting up a flag as a statement of ethnic possession of a land is a form of intimidation to those people who don't belong to that group, what Zach is saying is, yes, for this whole time, you've been intimidated by the Palestine flag, by the Pakistan flag, by the Pride flag. They're designed to intimidate you, as we as leftists think when we shove the trans flag in your face. This is designed to intimidate you. Exactly. When you put a flag up, well, that's intimidating. So, okay, fine. I'm in favour of intimidating you with our flag, if that's the way that you think of this, because you've been doing it to us this whole time. So no mercy from me on that one. Ross Kemp, though, was like, well, I think it's being hijacked for political means. It's like, Ross, do you know what a national flag is? It's an intrinsically political thing.
Isn't the origin of the flag the war banner?
Yes.
Isn't like
yes?
It's literally a symbol of a military formation.
Yes.
That then sort of expanded to a national identity.
Yes. Every flag of every nation is an intrinsically political statement. It couldn't be anything else. It says when you put up the flag, this nation, this group owns this territory and has jurisdiction, sovereignty over this territory. The idea that you can say that a flag has been hijacked for political means.
Flags were not originally designed for football. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it to this guy.
He's thinking of restaurants and the Eurovision contest.
Maybe he is. But the point being, it's like, again, and the thing is, I don't want to go hard on Ross Kemp for this, because I don't think he's a bad chap or anything. But, like, you can see how they're like, well, I mean, oh no, they're just trying to be divisive about it. It's like, right, okay, anything to say about the Pakistan flags or the Palestine flags or the trans flags? No, it's just when we fly our flag that suddenly, oh, you're hijacking this political symbol.
Because you're getting in the way of the liberal agenda.
Exactly. That's the point.
That's what you're doing.
That's exactly.
You're asserting that liberalism is over.
Yep.
It won't be tolerated any longer. It's failed. Multiculturalism has failed. All of this insane experiment has gone to the dogs.
Yep. As anyone can see.
As anyone can see. And confronting us with this reality means that you're dividing us.
Yes.
Because you're forcing us to think about whether or not the stupid assumptions that we've operated on for the last 2 generations are in any way valid.
And also, our entire project relied on you just shutting up and letting us
Exactly. Exactly.
If you actually, you don't even have to really do anything. If you just put up a symbol that is in opposition to us, that's it. We're panicking now. Yep. Oh God, the whole thing's going off the rails. It's like, look, if that's all it takes, then you had
because they managed to do this for so long without any opposition.
Yep. Exactly.
And they're not accustomed to meeting resistance.
Yep.
And in the first segment, we have a politician who said, "Thank you for shutting up."
Yes.
Yeah,
that's exactly the point. This only works as long as you just keep quiet and allow them to essentially funnel you into the channels that they approve of.
We need to remember that our God is a God of battle, and He is the Lord of hosts, and that implies a willingness to fight when necessary.
Yes. So anyway, speaking of a willingness to fight when necessary, this has become the flashpoint of the lib. Now, I can see why they've chosen this one, because this is a really bad target. Why would you vandalize a Chinese takeaway, guys? What are you doing? Right?
It's a bit silly, but
wasn't
there a little bit more to the story?
Not really, as far as I can tell.
I think what was more to the story was that it turns out that this restaurant had been changing the name of the company that owns it around a dozen times.
Yes. To presumably avoid taxes or something.
To avoid taxes and things of that nature.
I kind of support that. No, I'm joking. Like Angela Rayner, it's like, look, she's bad because she's a communist, but her tax avoidance.
I approve of. Yeah, fair enough. No, I understand.
But there's doubtless some backstory to it, but I don't think that's why they did this. Right?
And
that's a bit of an aside that I don't want to get dragged down into.
Yeah.
So basically, Chinese takeaways are pretty much a staple across England. They have been, because frankly, no one's like, oh no, the Chinese grooming gangs are raping my children, or the Chinese are creating vast colonies in our cities. Like, This hasn't really been the experience of the English with the Chinese takeaways. So this is obviously just really inappropriate, right? Obviously, for a
Quite
start,
stupid, I think.
don't go and vandalize anything. Obviously, right? We have to be responsible on this show. Don't go and vandalize anything. That's not how we're going to win. In fact, I'm going to show you in a minute. This gives them a way of punching back at us on this line, because this is really, really stupid. But I mean, look at what they've said. Is it cat and dog? So as if this is a racist joke that Chinese people eat cats and dogs. I'm sure they don't serve cat and dog there. England, get up, misspelled. Brilliant.
This is what makes
Like
it suspicious.
up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know who did it, and it's just being assumed that it's Gammonzilla has reached out and expressed himself in this way.
And they say "geet up."
Yes.
Okay.
But it may be that I don't know. Maybe they're just not brilliantly well educated, the people who did this. But the point being, we'll assume for now, until proven otherwise, that this is an organic expression of Gammonzilla stirring and voicing his displeasure with the current state of affairs. Right. Obviously, the local Chinese takeaway is not the right place to do this.
No, absolutely.
And vandalizing anything is not the right way to do it. But the point is, it does show us how they think. Now, they got this chap who was like, look, where is this takeaway? I wouldn't mind visiting to show support. Well done to the window cleaning company to help out. So this is a guy called Big John the Boschfather, who is a social media influencer from the working class of England. And he says Bosch a lot, like Tom Skinner. And so they got him on BBC Newsnight to come and explain why, as a proud Englishman, you shouldn't do this. Now, I can explain this for you. I'm a proud Englishman. You shouldn't go and vandalize anything, obviously. But this is what he said, and it's not actually terribly offensive.
I love my country. I'm a proud Englishman. And when you see the flags going up, I can see why people are doing it, because a lot of institutions around the country won't put up the flags. So people are sort of taking it amongst themselves. And it's normal people that are doing it. But every now and again, it blows over. You get the isolated incident, which isn't good, it is upsetting.
So did you see a picture of a Chinese takeaway in York saying, go home?
Yeah, I saw that online. And I think the lady had been running it for 15 years. She's lived here, she's worked hard. And I'm associated with Chinese takeaways. But I would have felt the same whether it had been an Indian, Caribbean, Mexican, Greek, Turkish. You know, people that are working here shouldn't be targeted like that. No one should be targeted like that. And it just sort of hit a nerve. And I'm going up to York in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go into the takeaway and give them a bit of custom.
So that is,
fair enough.
Like I said, a completely fair statement.
Yep.
Right? That no one obviously should just be targeted because they are foreign in the country. Don't go and vandalize their shops, blah, blah, blah. That's not how any of this gets resolved. Yep. And this is, in fact, how they end up crushing the native resistance, right? This gives them the justification. So do not do this. But the problem that a lot of people had with this is that he does kind of skip over I understand why they're doing this. The institutions won't put up the flags. Like, yeah, that's an excess of the problem. That's one of the sort of like, outgrowths of the problem. But the problem is a lot deeper and a lot more core to the nature of the protest and the issue with the country. And so a lot of people are like, well, I'm completely on his side, obviously. You've got people with pronouns on the bio, she, her here, being like, oh, the absolute all-timer from Big John, where on Instagram someone's posted, I bet you put up England flags up, hate anyone that isn't white. And he's like, no, check out my latest post with BBC Newsnight, mate. Educate yourself before typing. And then John has posted this saying, I'm sorry, but these types of comments make me sick. He's made this comment in my post on Cornwall about having a pint of Doom Bar. I'm accused by far-right people of not being patriotic enough, and this chap accuses me of being a racist. I'm not a racist or far-right. I'm a normal English bloke who loves England, loves Great Britain, and respects all the different backgrounds that live in our country and make us great. Right. Okay. So, what makes England great?
Do you feel that you're being made great?
Yes. What makes England great is diversity. He's literally saying here, diversity is our strength.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
So I believe that you're not racist or far right, John, but I also don't believe that you're not a leftist when you just parrot their leftist talking points. And I'm not saying that John, of course, is a political theorist who's spent a lot of time speculating on this. But the thing is, I actually think John probably needs to start thinking about this. So actually, is it the nature of England in particular that it was great because of its diversity, or was it great prior to the diversity? And what was the incentive of the diversity to just come here and be like, oh, look at England, it's crap. Look at your crap, look at your history. Look at the accomplishments of England. Absolutely nothing until about 1948, when we decided, you know what, we can't allow England to be this useless, pathetic, benighted country that had never accomplished anything on the world stage. You know, no, we're not going to make like Uganda great or anything. No, screw Uganda. It's already brilliant here. We're going to, for no reason at all, out of our own kindness of our heart, completely altruistically, move over to England and just start, listen, you stupid English, you can't, look, this is how you build up a country. We're going to show you. Just use, all of our countries as the model. Was that how it was, John? Or was it that England had the largest empire in human history? It was the richest country that had ever existed until that point. And these people thought, I would like some of that. And for some reason, they're going to let me in. Is that how that worked, John? Anyway, you can see how there are people calling him a house gammon over this, which I think is a bit uncharitable. Because I'm sure he's not a bad chap. But the thing is, buying into their narratives is not a good idea, because it gets these kind of people behind you.
Yeah.
Something I want to say is that I know from my background in academia how narratives are weaponized against people. And it's very often the case that everyday people who aren't that informed when it comes to political discourse and rhetoric, they try to get some points across, and in trying to communicate these points across, they end up picking bits and pieces from the narrative of the establishment. Yeah, it may be completely unintentional, but it happens. But it's like framing works in debates.
100%. But the point of the narratives of the establishment is that they are logically coherent, whether they're true or not. And so once you accept some of it, then other bits of it fall in, and through process of inference, you end up at their conclusion whether you like it or not. So basically, John, from your perspective of diversity as our strength, what's the argument against mass immigration? Why shouldn't we just have an infinite number of immigrants from around the world? I mean, the people who want an infinite number of immigrants to swarm England are just coming out and being like, oh, look at that. John Faisal, Leslie with the hammer and sickle there, being like the people's champion. Do you want communists supporting you? Do you want these people on your side? So actually, that John's a normal, open-minded guy who just believes that diversity is our strength. Are you sure you want these guys on your side, mate? Because these people hate you. If you'd just come around and said, well, actually, I do think maybe the English are the ones with the primary claim to England, they would be castigating you as a racist at the moment. But we can all say, don't go and vandalize a Chinese shop, don't bully people for being foreign, obviously. But that doesn't mean that we want communism, does it? Anyway, a lot of people are pointing out that this is kind of the British version of the Hicklib meme, as in the sort of the house gammon, as it's being called, which is, again, uncharitable. But there are a lot of people saying it, so it must have resonated with them in some way. And, I mean, look at this, right? These people hated you out of just a pure resentment against the English working class. When I first saw Bing John everywhere, I cringed. Why does he cringe? Because he sees a fat white man who's English and a proud Englishman. That's why he cringed, John. He's racist against you, John. But because you came out and said diversity is our strength, you're a genuinely lovely guy. You can love your country and not be filled with hate for everyone else. Great point. Great point, Phil. Can't hear you there, Samson, sorry. And then so people are like, well, look, John's the perfect character for the regime to astroturf, big fat working class gammon type they can use to roll out and spout a bunch of regime approved nonsense that is contrary to every belief you'd expect him to have, which is precisely what these people are commenting on. And I wonder who is lining his pockets. Well, he says no one's lining my pockets. Well, okay, that means you're doing it for free, John. It's called being proud of your country and the right way to behave and conduct yourself. Now, again,
you can't be proud of your country without being attached to your people. I'm sorry, the two are completely...
What does it mean?
Like,
what does it mean to be proud of your country if you're proud of the multiculti UK? Like, what?
The two are fundamentally contradictory claims.
I'm proud of the globalist order that is imposing itself on Britain and destroying our country. I mean, John, right? I agree. We shouldn't be, like, offensive to people. We shouldn't be going around bullying people. We should be polite in all things. But what does that mean for the people of Luton where they're 31% English? Is that normal? Is that the way that this should be going? What about London, where you can see there's hardly any... I mean, look at these wards. 14%, there was one I just went over there.
Yep.
Newham, 14%. This is a foreign colony, mate. Right? I agree, we shouldn't go around bullying Chinese takeaway owners, obviously, but being proud of your country when you're being genuinely demographically replaced in these areas, and you can see that this is just spreading outwards.
Yep.
I mean, I live here, and it's begun here too. Like, this is not going to stop unless we arrest immigration itself. It just has to be the case. And it seems that no practical argument penetrates through the skulls of the people in charge. They don't care how bad the quality of life in this country is getting. They don't care how overpopulated we are. They don't care about any of these things. So we are going to have to assert a moral argument in order to make the case. And that has to be, if we continue like this, we lose England. That's the moral argument. England is for the English, and we get to decide who lives here. And if that means closing the borders so the rest of the country doesn't end up like Birmingham or London, then I'd say that's perfectly fair, isn't it? That's not me being hateful. That's not me being a racist. That's not me saying that every Chinese chip shop in the country should be vandalized with the St. George's Cross, which again, I think is a terrible thing to do. That's me saying we have a right, and we do have a right. So just think about what you're playing into when you stand on their side. When you stand on their side, they are in favor of this continuing.
They're not on your side.
They hate
You can be on their side, but they will never be on your side.
and intrinsically, they cringe at you.
He has to be a bit more disagreeable.
I agree. Anyway, Dan also made the point that I'm going to go out on a limb here and make the assertion that John isn't getting sexually harassed by migrants on the way to school, which, again, probably think about the people you're actually defending here, John. Like the sort of the woke lib types who enjoy the dispossession of the
Thinking
country.
a Chinese takeaway as a target is a bit too perfect.
It's very strange, isn't it?
Because they're not exactly
Everyone likes
the main
Chinese takeaway.
problem.
Everyone likes Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
Like
would-
it's
why would
such a. This is what makes me sort of wonder about the authenticity of it.
But
we don't have any evidence to say that it wasn't what's
No.
being reported, etc., etc. But one should wonder because, like,
we have lots of reasons to question the editorial framing, though, right? Because a bunch of mosques were
Precisely.
also vandalized, and Newsnight didn't be like, "Did you see those mosques that got vandalized?" Because the people watching maybe not be so sympathetic to that, but
Yes,
everyone likes
exactly.
their Chinese takeaway on a Friday on Saturday night, and obviously the Chinese community in Britain has done nothing wrong. So why not use this as the sort of perfect victim of this? But like I said, don't go and vandalize anything anyway, because that doesn't help, and that's just going to make us look bad. But John, you've got to understand, man, these people kind of hate you, and they will literally tell you that they think that you're bad because of the way you look, and it's only when you parrot the approved lines that they go, "Oh no, actually he's a good guy." Really.
Yeah.
Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotusseaters.com.